Ain't no last calls here.
Bar Talk with Jay.
Alright. Welcome to Bar Talk with Jay. How are you? One of the things I want to make sure you know, we're sponsored by Dispose. That's a small garbage company doing great things and doing bigger things that you just don't know about, but there is. Stay tuned to me, and I'll be able to tell you more about it. Why? Because I'm working that bad boy from the inside to the out. Customer service is one of the number one things I want to start with, and I want to finish with you. So would you come get with me so I can show you what all we can do? That's right, that's Dispose, the little garbage company.
Absolutely, man. That sounds like a great company, bro.
Man, it's a great company that we had to change some things, man.
Yeah.
The best thing about anything is not just about how you start, it's how you keep on going.
How you keep on going.
You can't quit.
It's the journey.
There you go, and that's why next to me, this man in the building, Craftmatic in the building. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing
Yeah, I see you.
I'm doing wonderful, man. I'm doing wonderful tonight. Got a lot on my plate.
Okay. You got a little sparkle in your eye.
Continuing to grind, you know.
Got a little sparkle in your eye. What's going on, baby?
You know how you're working on a project and you can see
Yes.
You can see the end. You can
Yes.
start to get a good picture of what it looks like when it's finished and it's in place.
Yes.
Yeah, man. I'm starting to feel some of that. So,
hey, man, that's a great feeling.
Yeah, I'm in a great place now, man. I'm in a great place, and tonight's subject is going to do a lot for us, man.
Okay.
So I'm certainly excited about being here tonight. And how are you doing, Big J?
Man, I'm gonna tell you, just coming back from Hawaii trip, man.
Right?
Only thing I can tell anybody, if you ain't never been, it is what they be talking about. It is beautiful.
Yes.
Everybody already know everything's imported over there, so you already know the cost is gonna be kind of nice.
Right.
But I'll tell you all day long, I had a wonderful time. My mom just said it was the best trip ever.
Listen, that is so special. He took his mother to Hawaii, and he didn't know that going to Hawaii was on her bucket list.
Yeah.
He didn't even know it.
Yeah.
And then finally she told him.
Yeah.
And man, that's special, bro.
Yeah.
That's special because, you know, I'm a big advocate of creating memories.
Mhm.
That our lives are meaningless unless we have some memories behind it. So she has a lot of great new memories, man.
Oh,
and
yes.
she's gonna be fired up for a long time to come. You know, that keeps your spirit alive when you travel and see new places and meet new people. So kudos for you, BJ.
I appreciate that because, again, man, it's just from the heart.
Yeah.
It was one of the things that I thought about. I did a lot of things over the seas. I did cruises. I flew to Jamaica several different times.
Right.
And I did some things with my mother. But on this one, she backed me when I did the Jay and Shay show. She backed me when I started Bar Talk with Jay. I went to R&B, flipped R&B to Dispose. She's been with me the whole way.
Yeah.
And all she's been is a push in a positive direction.
Yes.
And when I come home complaining, she be like, yeah, baby, but you're blessed. But you're blessed, baby.
But you're blessed. But you're blessed.
She just
Yes.
keep reminding me of the blessings that keeps me moving forward. So somebody powerful like that, you want to make sure you do something for them.
Absolutely.
Don't ever wait and have regrets.
Right.
And number one thing is, if you want to do it, do it. Don't wait till the money comes.
Right.
It's almost like the top. Don't wait for that.
Don't wait for that.
You got to get your happiness as you go through
Yes,
this.
we're going to talk
you
about
gotta
that
claim
tonight, Jay. Let us just properly introduce ourselves. This is Bar Talk with Jay. My name is Craftmatic, and this is my boy,
Smooth Jay.
Smooth Jay. And we are here to just represent common men in the community who want to find a way to bring positivity and who want to be able to share some real powerful dialogue so that you can become your greatest possibility. We think this show is a little therapeutic, and so what we're asking you to do is to kind of look in the mirror of our dialogue, see yourself, find yourself in these situations and circumstances, and decide right now, what are you going to do? Who are you going to be in that situation? Because if you haven't been through it, you probably will go through it, and if we can give you some strength before you go into it, man, we're all just a little bit better off. So we thank you for being here tonight. This is not a quick fix show. We do a 2-hour show, dialogue, a lot of great information, and we're glad you folks are with us tonight. So stay tuned because the show gets better as it goes on. My notion is that the second half of the show is always better than the first half because we go so deep in on the subject. So we always start each show out with a prayer. And would you like to pray for us?
No, man, I mean, you had it earlier, man. If they don't understand, I try to do the pre-show with Instagram and Periscope.
Okay.
So they get to hear some of it, man. But I think you touched me with that last one. You might as well go ahead and throw it back out there.
Yeah, man, I'll drop a few seeds, some things I'm reaching for myself. Heavenly Father, we come into your presence with our heads bowed and our hearts humbled, just thanking you for your awesome, awesome presence, your awesome love, and your awesome grace and mercy in our lives. And we ask tonight for right direction. We ask, Heavenly Father, that you would lead us and guide us and strengthen us to know what direction you would have us to go. Let it be your will and not our will, Heavenly Father. Give us understanding and give us the strength to follow through with what we know to be the understanding of you. And so we thank you tonight for this show. We ask that you would liberate the people in a very special way tonight. And we ask that you would be with us all the way through. Give us a humorous and fun and uplifting show. Make it positive and clean. We ask this in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Woo.
All right. All right.
Okay, and for all the ones didn't know, go ahead, y'all can Cash App Bar Talk with Jay. Y'all ahead and send them donations. Keep it flowing, keep it flowing. I get something after that Hawaii trip.
Yeah. Listen, yeah, I'm sure you do. Listen, we already got some folks chiming in with us tonight. Miss Laura Hoggerbrook. Kenya, what's happening?
That's my girl, Kenya.
Yeah, Tammy Williams is in the house.
Okay.
And we want to thank you folks for being here. We got a great topic, a great show. Just continue to stay with us. If you got questions or comments, send us a message and I'll be able to see it. If I don't have my glasses on, I didn't see it come on the screen, just so you know.
Yeah.
That's how this works.
I can't see it, period. I got a big old TV back of a monitor looking at me and I can't see nothing.
So let's get started with last week's topic. Actually, week before last, we celebrated 4th of July last week.
Yeah, we was off.
And week before last topic was quite intriguing. Here's the question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you honestly think the person you're having sex with is only having sex with you?
I bet you really stirred some people up on that one.
Yes, that was a good one, buddy. That was a good one.
To me, you gotta understand. If you just meet somebody and you taking ownership and you believing in that, you know, I really got to say you got to be fair to yourself.
Well, if you're just meeting somebody, see, the way I think about things is that everybody has somebody.
Thank you.
And so if you just meet somebody, you should know that in most cases, they have somebody. Now, they may not be feeling 100% of that gap. They may be only feeling 20, 30% of that gap.
Something.
They feeling something. Feeling and feeling.
What? They all
so everybody's got somebody. So to meet somebody new and to think that they don't have somebody is, you know, fooling yourself. The other side of the equation is that, you know, you meet somebody and y'all haven't talked about anything, but you start dating and you start going out. You go out 3 or 4 or 5 times. You don't expect after the 5th date that the person who you went out with leaves you and hits his old flame, right? So there starts to be some integrity issues as you continue to date. So I'm feeling you feeling me, but on
you
that,
still feeling somebody else.
After that 4th date, you still feeling somebody else. And
but you eat my food.
Yeah, you eat my food,
spending my
time and my money. You know, there becomes some integrity issues if people are going to do that. I think by the 4th or 5th date, you're talking. You pretty much can feel if y'all are trying to be one. You know, you're talking probably all day, every day.
Right.
Texting, talking. You dedicated to one another in that way. And you know, I truly believe that you don't necessarily have to have that conversation for there to start to be some understanding that I can trust you. For there to start to be some understanding that I'm putting my interest in your hands, and I hope you don't humiliate me by, you know, continuing to sleep around. You know what I mean? So I know people get caught up into these traps.
I mean, there's a lot of traps, but again, without good conversation, like you said, you spent all day talking, and you ain't really have a conversation about that.
But see, you don't have a conversation about that because you don't want to really upset the environment. You really don't want to upset the environment.
You not want to upset the environment.
That if
it can cause long-term issues, because again, if it don't get addressed on the upfront, to me, a lot of the times, it's going to get addressed a whole lot later with a whole lot more feelings and emotions. So a lot of times you might be cool with whatever they're doing.
Right.
And when you act like it's cool, and then later on you act like it's not, that's because you played yourself like a fool. You gotta watch that, because again, if you're not comfortable with something, speak up.
You played yourself like a fool, but the other side of it is that you tried to trust somebody. You know what I mean?
You tried. You knew they was out there sleeping around, Brad.
No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. No,
you knew you wasn't.
Listen, there's a whole lot of situations that come together. I would probably say the mean population, 68%, all people in the middle, that, you know, We don't have those conversations.
Why?
But you know, that person is still stepping out, even though you've been dating for 2 months. They still stepping out, maybe because you haven't had the conversation. So it happens. I'm trying to trust you and be one with you. I don't really want to have the dialogue, because if I have the dialogue, now I'm trying to hold you accountable.
Right.
And me trying to hold you accountable, it don't feel like it's pure of a relationship to me. Now I got to be like, all right, you better keep your hands off somebody else. It would be so nice. It would be so nice to have somebody come into your life and you really not have to have that conversation, because the relationship is so pure, and it does exist. You know that
it can.
It absolutely does exist.
It can.
I think that you know, if I were to meet somebody and start dating, I'm already going to offer that earnestness. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's my choice to go ahead and be earnest, because if I don't be earnest, then I can't expect earnest back.
I'm just gonna go in and celibate. I'm gonna sell a little bit here, sell a little bit there.
You ain't going to there.
I'm celibate. I'm selling.
Yeah.
I'm selling it.
Yeah. Listen, folks, it was a fabulous show. You know, in my mind, you know, if you got to ask the question sincerely, you may have a problem on your hand. Okay. What's really happening is people know that somebody's sleeping with another else, but they be quiet about it because they don't know how to deal with it. They don't know how to talk about it. Don't get yourself set up for failure. Don't be gullible. Don't be foolish. Don't be ignorant of the facts. When people show you a pattern, you know, you got to trust that the pattern is telling you something. And you know, don't think any other way, because there ain't nothing but the devil trying to fool you, trying to deceive you. The devil is full of foolishness, and he'll deceive you as long as he willingly can, and as long as he can, shall I say. So it was a fabulous show. We would love for you folks to check it out. We're all over the internet. Some of the basics, if you get to YouTube and Facebook and Spreaker and Instagram. You'll be at some of the home plates. I love Periscope.
Yeah.
I think we're
Instagram.
we're on Spotify. We're on Instagram. If you go to Google, what is that? Google. What is it?
Google Play.
Google Play. Yeah. If you go to Google Play. But what's the Google Podcast? If you go to Google Podcast, you'll see tons of our shows.
You can go to Spotify.
Quality Sound, Spotify. Yeah, man, I'm loving it. We're everywhere. So check it out. It was a fabulous show. I think you're going to find some love in it, and you might find yourself becoming a little stronger as a result of that conversation. Let's move on to our quote for the week. Miss Barbara couldn't be here. God bless her soul. Macon, Georgia. But she put together a nice one for us, and it all summarizes in one thing. But let me share the quote, and it goes a little something like this. We need to flood social media, communities, churches, and Bar Talk with Jay with nothing but prayer. Our people are hurting, and we need to find a way to reform. We need to sweep through the nation and heal our land, restore the minds, the strength, and cast out anything that is not for us. We need to find a way to heal the hearts of the grieving, the suicidal, the homeless, our youth, in order to guide them along the right path, and everyone that surrounds us. The Lord has provided us with the tools of life, and we need to find a way to unify among ourselves and stop waiting on the person to make it. Stop waiting on others to make a difference. Let's step together, build together, and become stronger.
Wow.
Now that was a little long, but let me tell you what come out of that for me. There's one tool in my mind that solves every problem, and it's prayer. One simple tool can solve and resolve every single problem. I pray all the time over the things that concern me, and I see answers popping up miraculously. I can't explain how that works. I can't identify the mechanisms and the resources needed and the right mentality. I can't do anything of that. But I know when you close your eyes and you ask God for healing on a particular subject, whatever that is, you will see His presence come forth. And she's talking about fixing communities and strengthening our minds and helping the homeless and the suicidal and the grieving. We don't know how to do all of that. That's the point here. But when we pray, God knows how to do it all. He knows how to fix it all. So I just want to offer you up, folks, to test the theory. we've got to begin to take more time and focus on the inside.
Right.
Because we do so much focusing on the outside, we lose our power. Our power is on the inside of our minds. It's on the inside of our spirit. And so I'm encouraging you folks who are dealing with challenging situations, and whether you need a meal tomorrow, whether you need that meeting to go right, whether you need money to pay those bills, whether you need sickness to come off of your body, turn to prayer. If you don't know how to pray, go to Google and ask for a prayer for healing. Go to Google and ask for a prayer for a new car. You'll be amazed at some of the prayers that will come towards you, and all you got to do is read them and agree with them. There's power in prayer, and I'll leave it at that.
That's so powerful, and it's so true. A lot of times you go, and this is the one thing that's sad to me. You go to prayer just when you need something or you want something. Truthfully, prayer is for everything.
Yes.
It's for all the great things that happen in your life, those blessings.
Yes.
You got to pray them back.
Yes.
You know, they was given to you, you got to give them back. There's
Yes.
more things that prayer can do for you, but as long as you just use it as a tool for when you need something,
Yes.
you're probably going to fall short. Because again, he's trying to deliver you so much more. He's going to open your eyes to so much that you miss him.
Yeah.
If you just take that chance.
Yeah, man.
And give it to him.
And some of my most effective prayers, bruh, have been like I'm getting ready to start a new job, right?
Okay.
And so what I'll do in prayer is I'll ask God to introduce me to the right people and to, give me prosperity right out front. And I'll ask him to have the boss to cover me and to be my friend. I'll ask for a promotion. I'll ask to have a good stay and to have great relationships with the whole environment and customers and money. I'll ask for the whole gamut. I'll ask him to tell me when it's time to leave and when it's time not to be there anymore. Give me signs and wonders when it's time to go, or when it's time to watch my back, when it's time to do warfare prayer, when it's time to pray for more prosperity. He'll lead me and guide me all the way through. I've had numerous experiences where I prayed the whole prayer before I go into it, whether it be leasing an apartment. Let's say you got an apartment application, right? And you're not sure if the apartment application going to get approved. Before you give that apartment application to the people, you fill it out and you put it in front of you and you write the word approved. Make a copy. But you write the word approved and you ask God to approve it, no matter what circumstances or what changes he have to make, what I's he have to cross and T's he have to dot. It doesn't matter. He's going to make sure that this application gets accepted and I'll get a place over there. Do the same with a job. Do the same with everything, man. You gotta lead your life by one set of principles in this life, because all of life operates through our thinking and through our understanding and relationship with God. If you're not in tune with that, you're out of frequency from the things that you desire in your life. And so let's just
Wow.
let that be. Yeah, man. Ooh, that's supernatural.
Crab done went in on that one, Lord.
That's supernatural power.
You done went all the way back to
Yeah,
church.
yeah. Man, I ask these questions all the time. I wonder how much potential is lost because people are not praying. Because people are not leaning on their spiritual power, a real power. It's as real as a rock or a piece of metal, but we have to use it in a certain way. And I wonder how many people are just missing out on their lives. Maybe how many parents are going through hardships with their children because they don't know how to pray over them, So it's just a big subject, So let's just move on. You guys want to say?
Man, you covered that so nicely, bro.
Okay.
There's nothing I can jump in on that one.
Okay. Just a quick question. This is a craft segment. Just a really quick question that Barbara asked.
Yes.
And she says like this: what defines family in the eyes of the Lord? What defines family in the eyes of the Lord? And my answer, simply put, is anyone who is for you.
All right, you got to define that one. I like that.
Anyone who is for you is a part of your family, right? Because and what what we oftentimes don't do, we don't even know to think about this sometimes, but sometimes when I'm, if I've ever been at an airport counter, right? And I know it's very tense. People are moving and people are excited about the whole process. So when I walk up to that counter and I know this person is maybe a little frustrated, got another couple of challenges going on in other counters, and I just sit there and be patient, because when I know and I feel like they're really on my side, then Mr. Kraft, please give me a moment. I'm going to take good care of you. I just need to handle one thing real quick. That now I can put that person under my wing, under my spiritual wing. And I've even started praying for a person. You know what? I hope the Lord bless this person in a very special way. Because and so anyone who is for you is seen as family in the eyes of God. We'll leave it at that.
Man, I like to say again, who you allow in your inner circle. So, and that's what you're looking at. You just can't let everybody in.
Yeah.
So again, them people will be that close ones. And I like to say it should be heavily looked upon.
There you go. There you go. So it is time for us to take our first break.
Okay. Gotta get time, goddamn.
Yes, sir. And I got a fabulous topic for us tonight. And let me just set this up for a moment.
All right.
Many of us are just going through life. We just kind of meandering through a job, kind of meandering through our career, and we kind of meandering through our money. And it seems as like if we were to assess ourselves, it seems like we're kind of being lackadaisical about life in a nutshell.
Right.
And we are all aware, for us grown folks, most of us are aware of what our gifts are. Most of us are aware of what we're passionate about, the things that we really like. But some of us get it done and start making things happen. Some of us just are really excited about it, but we never make things happen. Some of us are unhappy in our money situations, and we don't seem to do anything about it. There's no call to action to make a change in our lives.
Yeah.
I want to just talk about the breadth and the width of our professional lives. The question becomes tonight, our topic is it better to earn a lot of money or follow your passion?
Ooh.
Is it better to earn a lot of money or follow your passion?
I sure ain't trying to be broke. So
No, we ain't never tried to be broke. Listen, survival is the first layer of the whole pyramid, you
better
know?
get it right.
So let's talk about that. I want to wake some people up tonight on this subject because this meandering is allowing us to lose focus, and it's allowing us to lose years, and we're really losing great significant portions of our potential because we're not clear on if we're going to focus on money or if we need to focus on our passion. And some of us got it all messed up. Some of us done made those mistakes. But let's talk about what it really looks like and some of the innuendos to having a great career and making a lot of money with purpose and passion. I think it's a healthy subject. What you think, Jay?
I think it's something that should have been brought to my attention a long time ago.
A long time ago.
Because a lot of times, a lot of people's like, we'll get into it in the 8 o'clock hour.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are getting confused because they're chasing the bag.
They are.
And it's a lot more to life than just chasing money.
Yeah.
Because it's going to keep on moving, and you're not going to find any true happiness with that, but you can find it within you. And that's what we're getting back to tonight.
There you go. And I'm hoping you can look in the mirror of this dialogue and find some truth for yourself, and maybe it'll promote you and help you move to your greatest possibility. I got some great cuts for us tonight. We're going to take a break. I want y'all to stay tuned. I hope you enjoy it. Any language that might be here, I try to find cleaner songs, but some of the best songs got a little grown folk stuff in it. I think this is a grown folks night. Y'all bear with me, and y'all stay tuned. This is Bar Talk with Jay. We'll be right back.
Yeah, we're back in the building, baby. Quick break. One of the things I want to say is, again, August the 2nd and 3rd, I'll be up in Akron, Ohio, doing my thing.
Yes,
with my 30th year class reunion. We're going to try to bring in my boy Jeff Brantley, organize a great event. And again, it's going to be about us coming together, having a great time.
Right,
And that's again,
right.
Akron, Ohio,
Akron, Ohio.
August the
Okay.
2nd and 3rd. Be in the building, be present, and come meet me. You'll
Woo,
be
but that's gonna
surprised
be a
how
good
that's
time.
going to be. But I'm going to get your,
I know you. Oh, I know you gonna get to Yeah.
be flying back to
There you go. There you go.
But right now, we got this person that look like him, that ain't him.
Okay.
At least he say it ain't. But we got him on the phones to see if he gonna be in the streets of Philly helping me out tonight. Jamal, how you doing, big baby?
Man, what it do, Bone? What's up, Craft? What's up, Rock, man? What it do, man? How y'all doing in Atlanta?
Hey man, we
Tell me
doing
how,
great,
man.
man. We doing great. Good to hear from you, bruh. You still in Philly, right?
Nah, actually, while they talking about Ohio, I'm actually in Detroit right now. Just left Ohio.
Okay.
Bone, you already know how I get down, so yeah, I mean, you know what it is with
This
me.
man travel everywhere.
Yeah, man. You be all over the place. We love it, bruh. We love it. You got anything for us tonight, man? Anything in particular on your heart?
Yo, real talk, it was a real personal situation, and I wanted to address a different type of cornball. Cornball men.
Men, okay.
Never raise your hand at a woman.
Never.
Only cornballs talk with their hands. That's a different type of cornball that we don't never address. I seen this thing online earlier where dude was talking to a white girl and he said he gave up on black women. Listen, you treat the black women in our system like the queens that they are. We don't never abuse them for no type of reason. There's
Right.
no respect in that. There's no effort in that. There's no win in that.
Right.
So what I will say is to the kings out there, the true kings, the true men that y'all know y'all standards are, treat these women with the respect they deserve, and hopefully you will receive that same love and appreciation back forward to you. What you give out is what you get back in. But if you don't know how to take care of a woman, don't dig yourself in that grave trying to, you don't know what type of brother she got. You don't know what type of daddy she got. It
Right.
ain't worth it. Don't raise them. It's a different type of cornball, y'all. There's no jokes on it. It's a respect level.
Right. Right. Man, you can't say any more about that subject, bruh. Keep your hands to yourself.
Now, one thing I gotta say, hands
Period.
to yourself, even though you address it to the men, it's to the women as well.
It's to the women as
Do
well.
not
Oh, yeah.
touch another person, and you ain't looking to get touched back.
Right.
Keep your hands to yourself at
Yeah.
all times, unless you have to.
Yeah.
And I mean that person is showing you a sign that you have no choice but to defend yourself. But my whole thing is, when you get mad and angry, and you do raise your hand to strike somebody, you got to really think about what are you doing.
Right.
Besides the criminal part of it.
Right.
A lot of time it's your emotions playing out, and you're acting out with emotions, and that anger has been taught through time. And that's why whoopings and a lot of things happen.
Yeah.
So you need to push away from that, and that's not what you really want for outcome of you and the person that you really care for.
Right.
Because I believe in, even when I had to whoop my kids, and they was doing things that I had to tear their behinds up. Because I'm telling you, I get bad head. So when I had to do it, it did hurt somewhat because I didn't want to do it. But I already know if I didn't do something, oh, they was gonna run me crazy in the neighborhood.
Right.
So I had to take ownership of them. And again, it's not a great feeling, but they had nothing to do with me trying to touch my wife.
Yeah,
back then.
I've had a couple of women in my life, early on in my life, who were abusive women. And I remember one time, me and my girl was in a heated discussion, and I was just like, you know what, man, I ain't got time for this right now. I'm out. And I opened the door. We were in her dorm room, right? I opened the door and walked out the door. As I walked out the door, she grabbed the back of my shirt and pulled me back into the room. You know what I'm saying? I fell back on the bookcase and hit my head.
Stop giving out that craft magic love in there. Push you back in there.
She did the checky on his ass.
Man, and man, it took all that I had not to whoop my ass. I'm telling you, bro. That's out of hand. That's when it's out of hand. And if you want to act like a dude, I'm probably going to treat you like a dude. But I'm going to do all that I can to get out of there. And I would encourage both men and women, keep your hands to yourself, man. It just never ends well. And I promise you, once the hands start going, everything else is just done. There's no more communication. There's no more repairing it. There's, you're just digging a hole for yourself. And most of the people who do that kind of stuff, I think, are really ill. They really.
The way I would kick it with this is this, like, this is a learned behavior. And a lot of women find themselves in a situation where you're trying to raise a man and that's not what you're supposed to do. When you find yourself where he said he would never do it again and it's an accident. Women, I'm not dogging my man, but I'm gonna tell you this. If a man never raised his hand at you one time, I guarantee he will do it again.
Yeah.
I guarantee you are not the only female he's messing with.
Right.
I guarantee the drama that's gonna come your way is bigger than you ever thought.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know, particularly for women, you got to look for the signs. You know, when you start to get to know a person, then all of a sudden they're always moody, they're always snapping, you know, tripping, never trying to bring agreement. You know, you need to run from those, man. You need to run from those, regardless of the circumstances, regardless of how long you've been alone. That situation can only get worse, and because you know sometimes.
One of the best signs is you need to ask women. This is something, you know, I wish I would say it's not as cliche as it is, but find out what the man's relationship with his mother. If the man has a terrible relationship with his mother, I find it extremely hard to believe he's going to be able to love you.
Man.
He might be able to pipe you, but he's not going to be able to love you if he can't get that original love from the mother.
Right.
So those are just one of the signs. I didn't want to take the tone such a, you know, serious tone, but that's just one of them things. If you want to talk about what some real cornball behavior is, that's one of them things that need to be addressed. I hate Lifetime. I'm sorry, I don't like the men bashing, but there's a certain level of respect that men should treat these women with the queen that they are. You don't break a glass, man. You put that glass in a nice cupboard for it to be seen. You don't break your jewelry. You put that jewelry on so it can be seen. These women that are in your life are to be appreciated and treasured. And if you can't do it, I promise you the next brother will. Not me, but somebody like that.
Yeah, and it's not just physical; it's also spiritual and mental. Talking down and belittling people, and you know, just really, you know, really coming against people with your mouth and with your tongue and with your word. That there's just no place for that. You know, if you ain't got nothing positive to say, keep your mouth shut until you cool down enough to have a decent conversation. And sometimes just getting out of the environment can help everybody. In spite of it might look like you're quitting or giving up. Turn around and leave before you ever, you know, start using, you know, profane language and disrespecting people out of their name, because that goes all in the same category, you know. So, well, listen, I love the point, and I think we made it clear of what we expect from men. Let me ask you this question, which is our topic for tonight. It goes a little something like this. Is it better to earn a lot of money or follow your passion?
Follow your passion. Follow your passion.
Okay.
Because if it's truly your passion, I mean, again, don't want to sound cliche, but what you do won't be work. If this is what you are good at, I mean, if you are a great mechanic, then when you go to work every day, it's not a job. You going to enjoy breaking down them cars and putting the engine back together. Before you know it, you might be a NASCAR builder, for all I know. If you love dogs, you might be one of the best dog trainers. If you love furniture and design, you might come out with the, you know, refrigerator and the armchair. You might do something real creative. So the things that you are passionate about will lead to major success, networking, and the finances will come. But if you chase after the finances, you will find the money will come, but you will be bored and frustrated real quick because the money's not going to satisfy you. Find your passion.
Well, you know, that's an interesting question. Will the money satisfy us?
Okay, I will say this. The money, I was taught you chase the bag and then the bag will attract the female.
Okay.
Look, for me, I chase my passion. My passion is going to bring me my bag. My bag will give me that female. I did that step before chasing the bag, just finding what I'm good at and what I love to do.
Yeah.
When I love doing it, I will wake up at 7, 6 in the morning and do it just because. If you love your woman and your family is your passion, you don't mind waking up at 5, 6 in the morning, go put gas in her car, going to work, coming back home because, hey, my family is my passion.
Right.
It's just, I mean, again, it's just how what's important to you.
Okay.
I would advise somebody to follow their passion and not the bag. The bag, the love of money is the root of all evil.
Okay.
The love of what you do will give you great success and wealth.
I love it. I love it. And there's so many angles I want to cover on this subject. As you folks, especially you folks who are listening live, as you remember, I talked about, just meandering on the sideline. And I asked the question, will the money satisfy us? Just to kind of be devil's advocate, because there are a lot of people who are living their life thinking that the money is going to satisfy them. And they're not even considering passion or purpose or what they're good at or their talents or their gifts. All they're thinking about is how to make the money.
Yep.
And they believe that the money is going to make them happy.
They ain't never listen to Biggie. More money, more problems.
Okay, well
They
listen.
ain't got no money,
listen,
so
and-
they don't know about the problems.
Yeah, and let me tell you something. People who don't know about money problems don't know about money problems because they are very real. I just came across a large sum of money, and you'll be amazed at some of the things that you have to think about and have to protect.
Yeah, now I can imagine after you just made that comment, your inbox is gonna be flooded. Hey, bro, can I hold something? Hey, baby, I missed you. I'm your cousin on your auntie side. How you doing?
Right, right. But it gets none of. Right? If you wasn't around beforehand, I don't want to hear from you. Just go on about your
You
business.
wasn't with me shooting in the gym?
You wasn't with me
What?
shooting in the gym.
Say it again.
God, I love that. Boy. So let me ask you this question. What is your passion in life? What is your purpose? What gets you up early in the morning? Or keeps
Oh,
you going?
man.
What are you focused on in life?
Oh, we don't talk about that. That was me getting ready to book on my flight.
Okay.
My passion is just family and dogs. I love my dogs. I love training them. I love breeding them. I love doing it. It's fun for me.
Right.
Like, it legit is fun. So it doesn't bother me in the slightest way. My family and who I want to work for, that is the ultimate. As long as what I do makes my kids and my woman happy, my life goes by a whole lot easier.
And boy, I tell you what, you just opened a can of worms right there, because I do want to talk about, we may not be able to do much justice to it right now, but I do want to talk about, especially in households where there is a breadwinner. The breadwinner is not really focused on their passion. They really have to be focused on the money. And they give up years of their passion to make sure that their family
Taking care of.
is taken care of and that they can follow their passion. And so there comes a time in life where one has to dedicate themselves to a passion, and that may mean that your children's and your wife's passions are more important than yours. And so you will go to work at this place you don't like, don't want to be at. You will go through all the hardships and the hard times in order to make sure that your children are able to get that violin that they want, that they're able to go to the college that they want, that your wife is able to wear the clothes she likes or go on the trips that she wants. So there is a point at which we all have to man up or woman up and give up altogether many years of our passion and our purposes in life. And one should not feel bitter about it. I remember coming out of my marriage, my divorce, that I really realized how little I did for myself and how little I focused on the things that I liked. When I was married, as much as I loved golf, I wouldn't go play golf because it'd take 4 hours away from the family. And I wouldn't buy myself those nice shoes that I wanted. And even though we could afford it as a family, I just always felt like, well, let me just keep it for a rainy day rather than doing something for myself. And so I know many of you, especially you all grown folks with kids, you understand the struggle that I'm talking about. And we have a tendency to feel like we've left a part of ourselves, we've left a part of our lives on the table because we focus on those other things. After they're all gone, living their lives, doing their thing, you are left here like, wow, I spent 30 years taking care of them, and I didn't even take care of myself. And so I think it's an important point for us to remember that in the midst of taking care of our families, we do have to take care of ourselves. And that may just mean, going to a monthly event about dogs. You know what I mean? Going to trade shows, or that may mean, you know, ordering up a subscription of your magazines, or you know, you got to find a way to be happy within yourself while you satisfy the rest of the world. What would you say to that, Jamal?
Well, what I would say to this is when you find what your passion is, please go do it. Me, I love dogs, so I used to take my dogs. I drive 2 hours somewhere out in North Dallas somewhere, and I go to the dog show because I love it.
Right.
But the thing I would love to advise anyone is, if you love something, the woman that you care about will support what you love. So she might say, hey, my man loves dogs, my man loves lions, whatever. I've seen it. Hey, baby, I got you a class somewhere. And she'll support what you're passionate about. If the person you're with supports your passion, keep her. If the person you're with does not support your passion, I would advise you to find somebody with.
Yes, I totally agree with that, man. That's right on the money. Listen, man, we gotta take a break. And any parting words for your segment, sir?
Still there, Jamal?
Oh, I'm still here, my guys. I didn't want y'all hearing that loud back. And I'm trying to get ready to jump on this flight.
Okay.
But listen,
Any parting
find
words?
that my biggest thing that I would tell anybody is find the person that you're with that supports your passion, and that will lead you to a lot of happiness. And this one thing is, you know, great minds think alike.
Right.
And if you have a passion for, you know, building your business, it doesn't behoove you to deal with a person that's not business-minded. See, that's not going to go anywhere. We're going to be talking about two different things. We're not talking at all. But when you got somebody that wakes up in the morning and says, "Hey, did you get the Forbes magazine today?" "Nah, babe, I was looking at the Times and I was looking at something else." And, "Babe, what about the new financial quarter that we're looking at?" Conversation will elevate and push you to new expectations and will grow. But if you guys can't talk on that same level together, then you're not going anywhere together as a group, and that relationship won't last.
Yeah, man, I love that. I love that, because we gotta talk about how being in a relationship and trying to follow your passion, how they come together. Yeah, how they line up.
That's
So,
not easy.
You can't be in a relationship with a person that does not support your passion. It's not going to lie.
Listen, and we're
And
gonna.
anyone that tells you otherwise, well, hey, bro, she's a beautiful woman. So, look phased.
There you go.
Look,
There you
ain't
go.
going to get you everything in life.
There you go.
Them tatas going to perk down in a minute. You know what I mean?
Hey, listen,
What
listen,
happens when
it's
you
all
got
important.
to All those things don't mean you're going to be happy.
Right.
But who is going to love you when you gain that weight? Who's going to love you when you get in the car accident? Who's still going to be there to support you?
There you go.
That's the woman. That's the man that holds you down. Is
Right.
that man supporting? Oh, you going to beauty school? Is that man helping you talk about, baby, you know what? I don't know nothing about no hair, but I know how to goddamn gonna get you in the building. If he really cares about you, he's gonna push you and you're gonna push him. If you're not doing that with one another, then you're going nowhere.
There you
What's
go.
the point of a relationship if you're going nowhere?
There
What's
you
the
go.
point of going buying 10 and 20 different pairs of shoes? You only got 2 feet. Where are you going? You got one relationship. What is the goal for that relationship?
There you go. Let's take a break, man. With
Just
that,
to be cute?
yeah,
Basically.
give us a little bit, man. We'll certainly get you back on the line. We know you got a lot to share. We just want to make sure we stay on time so we can give folks their breaks at home as well. So, you folks stay tuned with us. We're going to be right back with more Bar Talk with Jay. We got the good Reverend Dr. Jeffrey coming on next, and we'll see you in just a few minutes. Back with more Bar Talk with Jay.
I tell you,
Yeah.
man, y'all go in.
Man, yeah. Listen, I'm so passionate about this show because the messages that come out, man, are just such strong messages. You know, it's like you summarize, you know, a lot of people's experience when we start delivering some of these messages. You know,
That's what I'm aiming for.
Yeah.
Is to have a conversation that I really feel like is more meaningful than the things I've been hearing. We
Absolutely.
like to talk mess.
Yeah.
And I mean, don't get me wrong, Bar Talk is about having fun. But behind all that mess, we got to have some good substance. We
Right.
got to lead each other to a better place.
Right.
And a lot of times we don't even know where the hell we're going. So that's
Exactly.
why we talk mess. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's horse playing. Get that. But sooner or later we got to get serious.
We got to get serious, and I think tonight's subject is one to get serious about. Tonight we're talking about, is it better to earn a lot of money or follow your passion? And again, there are a lot of people who are just kind of meandering through life, and you know, Brother Jamal basically says follow your passion, right?
Right.
But most people's passion doesn't get the bills paid.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, we have a lot more rich people. I mean, we would have people more prosperous. There'd be a lot more prosperous people who, but necessarily your passion, if you're a violinist, or if you're a rapper, or if you are, even a business person, that you may have a lot of passion for something, but it just may not be making the ends meet. And I'm asking you folks, this is kind of a call to action, to take a look at your life, take a look at your situation, and see where there is more opportunity to make more money and more opportunity to follow your passion. They can be combined.
Okay.
They can be joined at the hip, so that, if you bake cakes, that you start a business and you put your life and your soul into that business, I'll promise you there'll be so many people wanting to buy your cakes, you'll never worry about money again. But at that level of production, you may not like baking cakes no more. Because now you got to bake hundreds of cakes a week, and you got to order new equipment, and you got to have people working for you, and you got to worry about shipping and ingredients and products and where they come from and who's selling them to you and how much they're selling to you. Now your passion the money has almost taken over your passion. And we find that happens a lot. The money takes over their passion. I would imagine that happens to a lot of athletes. A lot of people who go from college to pros, basketball, football, whatever the sport. Once you get into, you really enjoy playing golf, but once you get on the circuit, the pressure is on to perform. It ain't about just enjoying a sunny day no more. It ain't about just getting away and having a nice quiet afternoon, cold beer with the fellas, hang out for 4 hours. You have to now perform. And so there are points of elevation where if you focus in on your passion, the money side of it can consume you. And we know a lot of companies, we know a lot of products where they started out wanting to be the best product in the marketplace. And next thing you know, they start cutting their product back, and they start making the shallow version, or the less tasty version, or the quick version. And there's a situation where their money, the attraction of money, has caused them to lose some of their passion.
Oh yeah, happens quite often.
Right, we just want to talk about what's going on here. Let's ask this question.
This question we're gonna ask, Brad.
Will money make you happy?
I mean, you can throw some money at me. I won't be mad.
Nobody will be mad.
But does it really make me happy?
Will it make you happy?
I'm gonna put it to you like this. It can give me a sigh of relief, but I'm not gonna tell you it's gonna make me totally happy. What makes me happy is what I can do, is what's inside of me.
Right.
But don't get me wrong. When I'm able to sell something, a big account, and I got more revenue coming in, yes, it excites me,
Yes.
and I have a moment of happiness.
Yes.
But it's also because I had a bigger vision of that. And because I had that bigger vision, that's what made me happy, because I'm able to see it come to life.
Right.
That's more happiness to me. And that's something that I push harder for than just the money.
Yeah, and I really want to attack that vision for your passion. Again, if you like to build cabinets, or you love to build homes, whatever that happens to be,
Right.
you got to have a vision for where you're going.
True.
And if you have a vision for where you're going, then you can maintain your passion about your interest as you move to the big leagues. Because now you're interested in being in the big leagues with your passion.
Okay.
Right? what happens with people is, even I know many of you have participated in network marketing groups.
Oh yeah, I know.
And at first, you're selling these vitamins or this shampoo or these hair products or these beauty products, cosmetics, whatever, dishes and silverware, whatever you happen to be selling in your network marketing, that you've been sold to much degree on the value of the product. You may have used it and you may have said, wow, this is a great product. I'd love everybody to have this product. And then all of a sudden, on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday nights, when you normally come home and spend time with your family, you got to spend 2 hours on the computer doing live broadcasts or answering emails or responding to orders. And all of a sudden, your passion has consumed you primarily with the interest of making money. Primarily with the interest of making money. It's a cycle that we have to be careful of, because if our vision isn't big enough, we'll find ourselves working harder than we want to on this thing that we just call our passion.
Ooh, you just don't understand.
And listen, it happens to all of us.
It consumes you.
It consumes you.
But one of the things
Your business is consuming you right now.
It has.
And as much as you love, the sanitation business and the collection business, that you are, you're starting to be consumed by paperwork.
Right.
And computer work and hiring people and trucks and maintenance. And, how does that feel, Jay?
It can be very overwhelming. But one of the things is, because I've been in the business so long, and I did it really for a corporation, and I'm doing it for myself,
right,
is one of the things that you kind of envision, but you had to get to. So it's a level of stress, but I push away from the stress because I had an ability of knowing it's coming.
Yes.
And then to be able to be in a position to have the equipment to need the maintenance. You are achieving a lot, and it's going to cause you a lot of other problems. More money, more problems.
Right.
That's where it comes from. But you got to step away from the problem and get your solutions together.
Right.
And it's back to your formula. It was part of the formula what I was looking at in the first place. And that's why a lot of times people say, I don't know what my passion is. I understand that, because I didn't know what mine was either.
Yeah, and most people don't know what
No.
That's why most college graduates are working in a field way outside of their field.
But if you just work and you start learning different skills, you can start figuring out what you like and you don't.
Yeah, and that's a very important point, especially for you young people, and even for us grown folk, that it may take years for you to figure out what your passion is. It may take you years to figure out what you really like and what you really like to do. It may take years for you to come across that product that you believe in so much that you want to be a representative of that company. And so, don't be hard. Don't be so hard on yourself when you're not quite sure of what your passion is, because it takes people years to do it. And not only. And so here, let me just share something to do if you don't know what your passion is.
Okay.
If you don't know what your passion is, focus on the money.
Okay.
If you don't know what your passion and purpose is, go get some paper, so that when it's time to focus on your passion, you'll be able to do it without having to work hard or work extra. You'll have a savings program to follow your passion. There are some people who are passionate about traveling. Traveling is never going to get you paid. But if you're going to travel, you need to have a job that's going to be able to allow you to travel. You need to have a career or some income that's going to give you the opportunity to take 2, 3, 4 weeks off a year. And if you're not focused on it in that way, you're leaving your potential, you're leaving your personal desires behind. And for those of us who are 40 and 50, maybe even late 30s, we done missed a lot of life not focusing on the things that we need to be focused on. And I'm really of the notion that everyone in their own way should take 3 to 5 years and focus on earning a lump sum of money that they can then take and follow their passion.
Okay.
That should almost be a formula for life. That we should teach young people that they should get in fields. They should take, young people are a little different, but because they still won't know the pitfalls even if they try to focus on the money. But for grown folks, go and find a business that's making money. They're all around us. Go and invest into something that may not necessarily be your passion, but it's something you can achieve. Find something that you can make you $100,000 a year, $500,000 a year, something that's going to take you toward millionaire status. For the last 10, 15 years, I have always kept $1 million project on my plate. I've always kept working on something that was going to produce millions. And sometimes it was a little in the background. Sometimes, it took a lot of time and energy. And a number of those have paid off. I haven't quite made $1 million, but I've made money. I've made so much comfort money that I don't have to worry about life anymore.
All right, that's what I'm talking about.
You see what I mean? I'm not rich, but I'm rich.
There you go.
You see what I mean?
Claim it.
And it doesn't take a lot to be rich, by the way, folks. We know of people who, raised families on $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a year. They've raised families, they bought houses and cars and took trips and and done a lot of great things. Sent their children to college, bought nice jewelry for their wives and spouses, and there can be a lot to happen with very little. But it's important that you get to that place where you can call yourself rich. I think when you get to that place, then if you want to go and spend $20,000 or $100,000 following your passion, trying to make that $100,000, $200,000, trying to make that $20,000, $50,000, we don't think about these things enough, and that's the point. I think that's the sole point of this show. This is what I want everyone to get out of it. That we don't focus enough on how to create freedom in our life. And I believe to focus on your purpose and your passion in the very beginning, no matter what situation or circumstance you're in, you're going to be using your free time to focus on your purpose and your passion. You're not going to use the time that's necessary to create survival and to make ends meet. You're going to use your free time. What we need to do is to create more free time so that we can do the things that quote unquote makes us happy. Okay? And sometimes it's not always free time that we want, it's things and stuff that we want, right? And our passions are having a big house and a big car, and those things, believe it or not, will come to own you rather than you owning them. And that's a hard lesson for many folk to learn. Is you go out and spend thousands of dollars, 10 years worth of expendable income on things and stuff, and you go to look for them, they're in dresser drawers and in closets and in the trunk of your car and in the garage. And you spent thousands and thousands of dollars excited about this stuff you were so passionate about. It happens a lot when people want to buy like boats. Right? A boat is a very expensive sport. And it's fun to go out on a boat every once in a while, but it's really not fun to go out on a boat all the time, unless you're just that kind of guy.
And right? You got that kind of time.
And you got that kind of time, and you got that kind of money, because not only do you have to, keep those boats maintained, you got to keep them filled up with gas. You don't have to buy a whole day's worth of groceries, a whole week's worth of groceries just to be able to go out and hang out for a day. So you're dropping lots of cash, and sometimes just owning those boats don't add up. That's why a lot of people who buy them, they'll have them for a few years, several years, and then they'll end up selling them off. What we're talking about is your financial life and how your financial life matches up with your happiness. Are you satisfied with your current level of income? And if you're not, then you got to do something. And I don't know what that is, but you need to do something, and do something right now. Call to action.
I tend to agree, but I'm going to say, if I could go back in time and look at some of the things I did, because I worked 2 jobs. Worked in business, making good money. Worked in waste management for 1.5 years, and then I even worked in a club, bouncing, on the weekend. And I was already making good money. But again, with all the bills, the stresses, a little bit more ain't going to hurt. So I'm at the club. Now, this money is easy, bro. I'm standing there, and it's just coming to me. I'm a bouncer. I'm just chilling. Throwing people. out every so often, but basically, I'm sitting there having a good time where people want to come in there and ball out, have fun. I get to watch them have fun, and I get paid to do it.
Right.
Already I made my money at my job. This is my secondary job.
Right.
So when I started having an attitude with people, I was like, yo, man, don't come in here with all that. Because I don't need all that. Because, I don't really need this.
Right.
I'm just really doing this just for extra.
Right.
They tipping me like crazy because they like to know you ain't just doing this because you hurt.
Right.
I'm doing this because I'm good. This is one of the things I just kind of like to do. I like to watch people have fun.
Yes.
I like to dance myself, so I'm watching people out there to dance for cutting the move. I'm having fun watching it.
Watching people
And I'm
party.
getting paid.
Yeah.
The only thing I like, my feet were starting to hurt. I was on my feet all day. I worked all day, drove all day, then I'm standing all day. So that's what was giving me a little pain, is that. But I didn't know so much time away from my family.
Right.
I was taking.
You was taking a lot of time away
A
from
lot.
your family. And was the money kind of worth it?
Being honest with you, overall, that I really look at the bigger picture, no.
It wasn't
This is what
worth it.
really happened.
It wasn't worth
When
it.
I was there, and I'm telling a little bit of on me and my ex-wife, I spent so much time there, she felt like that extra money needed to be spent on the kids and her because of my lack of being there.
Okay.
So that right there was kind of peeing me because I'm sacrificing. I'm out here doing this. And then, it's nice, man, when I come on Saturday night, I might be driving 400-500 on the dresser,
Right.
that I done made. And, this is besides my regular check. So I'm balling. I'm feeling good.
Right.
Okay? Now, she felt like, well, you big on all day, so you need to take care of this, and this. Okay, well, all these things is getting taken care of, but she's really trying to tell me I'm neglecting. So every so often I try to go out and I try to do something, but it's never a lot because I'm so tired. Because again, Monday through Friday, I'm already working 12 hours a day. Then Friday night and Saturday night, I'm at the club 6-7 hours.
Right.
So again, regardless of the money I'm making and I'm hustling, I'm doing, I took a lot of time away. So then when it's time for my kids to go to football games and do things, it's hard for me to do it because I'm already hustling and doing all this extra.
Right.
Then I look at my account at the end of the day. Now, I will tell you, with that job, it landed me enough money to start my own business. Over $15,000, I was able to do from the side little hustle, put money to the side that I had to upfront my own business. So yes, it is worth it, but I will also tell you, in doing that, it still caused some pain.
Right.
And that's what they say, more money, more problems. It's because if you ain't communicating, I like to say, my ex-wife told me later on, we ain't need all that. That's just what you want. So it became more of a selfish thing. And I didn't think it was a selfish thing because I made sure we was taken care of. But to her, no, you just kind of did all that. That's what you wanted to do.
You wanted to be out in the club,
I wanted
hanging
to be
out.
And you wanted to be around that atmosphere,
That's
And don't
very
get me
interesting.
wrong,
That's
I did, like, it was nice.
Yeah.
Because it was nice.
Yeah.
But again, I didn't always look at it the way she was. So when I heard her, it did hurt a little bit, but like, you had no problem spending that money.
Right.
Besides the money I put to the side, she had no problem.
Money is easy to spend.
We know this.
Yeah.
But,
It's
to me, when I'm working, busting for it.
But listen, I like her perspective. Right, wrong, or indifferent, right? But it's just another spin to our conversation that, here's a guy going out, making the extra money, trying to do extra for his family, and because he enjoys it, his wife is suggesting that he's being selfish. And, we need to talk about that. The question is the money worth so much time away from your family? You might think it is, but your spouse might not think so. We're going to talk about that. It's time for us to take another break.
Let's take that break.
And I love the way this discussion is going, man. It's kind of opening my eyes to some things and even some mistakes that I've made in my own life, and I'll tell you about them. So stay tuned, folks. We're going to be right back with more Talk with Jay. We are back with more Talk with Jay.
One of the things I want to do is make sure I apologize. I got some texts while we was doing the show. I had some feedback, some things going on. We changed the show up a little bit, so the feedback and all that will stop shortly. We're trying to improve the quality of sound, so just bear with us. I just want to make sure I get that apology out there real quick. But as everything is getting adjusted and we're getting better. Now, back to what we was talking about.
Do we still have the other open line open up? We lost it.
No, sir. He ain't said
We
anything.
had 8, 10, 12 people on there. Did we lose those folks? On Jeremiah Holderbrook, did we lose those?
He started the live.
Started over.
Started live. Okay. Yeah.
So we had to reset, but again, we on Instagram, we on a lot of these other ones. So again, one of the things I'm going to do is jump right back to it. When I jump back to it, and since we were talking about it, and again, the sacrifice is real. When I worked, I didn't know I had a passion for some of the things I was doing at my job. I just knew there was a lot of things I didn't like. I didn't like how my supervisor was talking to me. I didn't like a lot of it. I never thought I'd be a supervisor, first of all. Okay?
Right.
But because how somebody else was treating me made me realize that maybe I need to take that position because I don't like how things was going.
Okay.
So it put me in a leadership role when I didn't like what somebody else was doing because it drove me. Now, I can't say that was my passion. It was just a drive of mine because I'm out there working, busting buttons. I got somebody over there being sarcastic as hell, criticizing every little thing I do when I already know I can outdo you.
Right.
But because of the fact that I can outdo you, you want to make me look like a fool.
Yeah.
Now, I already knew long term he wasn't going to last, and he did. So when Sheldon, I threw his name out there. When Sheldon got out, I had to put myself in position to get in.
Yeah.
They groomed me, they put me in there, and I grew. And then I started working with people. And I always said I wanted to be a more of a help. I want to be a hands-on supervisor. I want to make sure my people had somebody standing behind them because we never had nobody standing behind us before. So I wanted to be a new improved supervisor and end up being a new improved manager and end up being a leader. Now that's something I never even know I was going to step myself into.
Yeah.
So I took that and I walked away from it, from that job to going over to advanced disposal, doing operations over there, to now doing it over here where I'm at now. But the love is for the people.
Yeah, and man, that's a powerful point. I like the way you put that, Jay. He decided. I want you to hear what happened here in this equation. So he's working a job, and he enjoys his job. He does a great job. Got great relationships with all his people. Everybody love him. You know, he get to work on time. He leave on time. And he got no issues. Everything is just lovely. But all of a sudden, he feels a need to elevate.
Yeah.
To take on a leadership role. And when he takes on this leadership role, he's not going to be able to control his schedule no more. He's going to be at bay to all of these people. But at the same time he elevated, he had an interest in elevating his leadership role. He accepted the responsibility and he accepted a new vision for his purpose. It's no longer just to be a great employee. It's now, I'm going to be a great manager, and I'm going to protect these people, and I'm going to help these people, and I'm going to do something bigger with myself. And that happens to all of us. There's not a single person who goes to work every day, and there is maybe an opportunity to grow into a leadership role. But when you grow into that leadership role, now everybody who is your friend going to look at you a little different. They're going to try you on. They're going to ask for favors. They're going to do all of this other stuff. And so now you're not following your passion in that job anymore. Right? But what you've done is maybe you've accepted that new position because of the increase in income. Right? But at some point, you're going to have to decide that am I ready to develop a new vision for my passion, or am I going to stay in the same place? Now, I happen to be in the car business. And as a car salesman, I make great money. I never have no worries about money ever. All I do is go to work and I'm going to sell cars. People always want to buy cars. And I've had several opportunities to move into management, and on 3 of them over the last 11 years, I moved into management. And you have to develop a new sound passion for what you're doing to go to work every day. Because the job that I loved so much when I got promoted, I disliked a lot. I didn't want to go. I didn't want to be there. I hated the problems that I faced. It was always problems. I moved into management to face my dealership's problems. Whatever they were, I had to listen to them, fix them, handle the irate customers, get the customer service back up, fix the problem, whatever it was, and I just did not like it. And so I learned many years ago in my career, which is sales, I learned many years ago that I don't necessarily want to move up into a leadership role. I want to kind of keep doing what I do, because what I do is I can control my schedule, and then I can know what free time I have to go and work on my passions, right? And some of those passions are play golf. most of you folks know if you're a salaried employee, you move from an hourly to a salaried employee, that company owns you.
Ooh.
You got to be there for the early morning meeting, open up, set up. You got to be there late to make sure the last people get out of the building or whatever the case may be. Making strides in advancing in your life calls you to have to reassess your passions.
That's true.
Yeah, very much so. And again, I've made the decision. I went into management, and when I went into management, I started working 90-hour work weeks. Now, I was making $25,000 a month. I was buying Red Lobster every other day for lunch.
Eating good.
No, listen, I would bring the food in, and I would sit it on my credenza, and I wouldn't have time all day to eat.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be until things slowed down at 10, 11 o'clock at night before I could try to nibble on my meal. And by then, my appetite was all gone.
Food
and
call.
the food call is just not the same. And so I started assessing, hey, this ain't really my cup of tea. And I can do the job. I can certainly do the job. I can certainly make $25,000 a month, but I'm not interested in these 90-hour work weeks. I can take my personal time on that other 40 hours that I'm putting in here, and I can go create something that'll make me an extra, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a month and build on it. And that's exactly what I did. That's what I've always done. Just tried to be a hustler, tried to be a way maker in my family, and not give up my sense of self.
Gotcha.
It's a very, very important part. Not give up my
that's
sense of self. Yeah. Now, we had a couple of comments throughout the break that I thought were very interesting and enlightening. For you folks, you grown folks, when I say grown folks, I mean you may have family and, be responsible, have a lot of responsibilities. You're the waymaker, the move and shaker in your household, and you can really identify with this conversation that, you're going out spending extra time to make money, and the question is it worth it? And what we're finding, what several other folks, especially a couple of people here in the studio said, is that it wasn't always really worth it. I made some extra money, but I missed some time with my family that would have strengthened my relationship, that might have strengthened my kids, that might have strengthened my purpose and passion in just being a great father or a great family member. And so the point I want to make, folks, is that there are a lot of people who made the decision to make money over spending time with their family. And most of them will regret it. Most of them will regret it. That's the point I wanted to make. I don't want you to make the same mistakes. I want you to find a balance between making money for your family and continuing to elevate your family, and at the same time, focusing on your purpose and your passion, and at the same time, taking care of the needs of your family. I know a lot of families, I've met many of families in the car business, where the wife will come looking for her a vehicle. But the wife can't buy the vehicle because she doesn't work. She could work. She has a college degree. She can go out and make money. She's got all the credentials to do stuff. But their family have decided that him making $120,000 a year would be ample enough for him to make his wife, give her the ability to raise their children. So now they've decided that they're not going to let grandma and auntie and the neighbors and the school system raise their children. They're going to raise their children themselves. And they would allow the mom to stay home and take care of that. A lot of times I see dads that stay home and take care of those needs because there's great amount of value in homeschooling. There's a great amount of value in making sure your children's homework is done. There's a great amount of value in putting a meal on the table every night at 7 o'clock when your children are hungry and ready to get a meal and get their homework done and take baths. There's just so many great lessons that can really promote family, but we have to give up some money in order to focus on it. And that's not easy,
No.
That's really not easy. So let's just turn the subject just a little bit here in this segment. So you're married to somebody and you are passionate about being a rapper. This is a good friend of mine. from 18 to nearly 40, this guy focused on his rap career. He made great money in the car business too. Everybody gonna make $100,000 if you come to work in the car business, right? If you come to work, you put your heart and soul into it, you're gonna make $100,000. So he's making $100,000 in the household. He's taking some of that money and some of his time and going to focus on his rap career. And for whatever reason, his spouse is watching him from the sideline saying, well, that rap stuff ain't paying off yet. You sure spend a lot of time and a lot of money on being a rapper. You ain't got no shows, you ain't got no albums, you ain't got a lot of followers on your Facebook and social media. Can you live with a person and be married to a person who does not follow your passions and purposes in life?
No.
Impossible.
No. I mean, not even say impossible. There's a lot of people settle.
Okay.
I want to be in line with a person that can understand my vision.
Right.
I don't want to align myself with somebody that can just give me some sex and call that happiness.
Right.
That's falsehood. I mean, sex is just sex, but my whole thing is passion is what I believe in, what I'm going for. And
Right.
if you can't believe in it and you're not speaking life into me, you're taking life from me.
Right.
So I'm steadily pushing. And if you're not saying, well, baby, is there something else you can be doing because it don't look like you get the followers? Okay, at this point, it's just making, I need to tweak what I'm doing. Not, or you just need to get it up. You just ain't good at it. You just a failure. Okay? These are negative words. That's going to impact me very hard.
Yeah.
Because now I believe, did you really believe in me?
Right.
Now, if your ability suck, and there's a lot of times like me, I can't sing. All right? Now, I wanted to be a singer and I can't sing. There's a good possibility that's not going to happen.
Right.
So I understand sometimes you got to get some truth and some check. But in truth and check, are you still supporting me?
Right.
Because it's easy to say, baby, you got other great qualities. It's all on how you present it. Bottom line, you don't have to take nobody's, like to say they're throne. You don't got to take nobody's gift away from them.
Right.
What you can do is encourage them.
Right.
It's more to that you can do. And you heard it. You can say, well, you might not be able to sing, baby, but you can write well.
Right.
You can probably write because it's a lot of ghost writers.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things else you can do. At that point, she ain't gave up on you.
She didn't give up.
I don't
on
want
you.
nobody to give up on me, but it's so easy to talk somebody out of something.
Yeah, and this conversation can go so many directions, but I just want to touch on this one thing. I got a couple of things in my mind. That here we have found Mr. Right or Mrs. Right. And usually love comes quickly. You find a person, you start to like them, you start to love them, you hang out with them, right? Mm-hmm. But their purpose is putting on concerts. Their passion is putting on concerts, right? Promoting concerts. And it takes a lot of cash outlay to put on those concerts. So now you love them and you want to support their passions, but they're dropping cash that maybe your family might need. And so now you've got to confront them about their passions because their passions may be putting the family in jeopardy. And so now I'm with a person who doesn't really support my passions, maybe because I'm putting the family in jeopardy. Maybe it's because I'm spending too much time away. Maybe it's because I found something I like and they haven't, right? There could be some jealousy in the equation, but yet and still, I'm married to this person now. There's those situations where I'm in a family situation and I love to play golf, but golf costs me $40. Family really can't afford, $40 2 or 3 times a week for you to go out and blow off playing a game. At that point, the wife is going to, she may like the fact that you like golf, but the fact that, but if she supports it, then you're going to spend more money. And so now she's in a catch-22. Or he perhaps might be in a catch-22. Yeah, baby, I love that makeup. I love that perfume. But every time I tell her I love her perfume, she goes out and buy another bottle. We can't afford a $100 bottle of perfume. So now I can't support her in that. Right? There becomes a situation in the relationship where I have to hold back my interest in your passions because it may be hurting the family or the relationship. This is just a scenario.
Right, because I was about to say, you heard buying perfume. I don't think it's going to be a big passion. It's just a like. And I get it. I mean, everybody got their fetish.
You know,
no tripping.
if she got 100 bottles,
I mean, she got that's just ridiculous.
well,
I mean, she like to smell good, but 100, you better buy them little small bottles. Yeah. There's ridiculous bottles, big old bottles, and you gotta, you just, that's gluttony.
Right.
But my whole thing is getting back to supporting, is because again, it can get out of hand, but it need to be talked to. It need to be addressed, because the bottom line is, if it's causing financial stress, it might need to be some things to be adjusted. Don't get me wrong.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Yeah, because you gonna see it. If we envisioning what you can't see. Now these are pioneers. Everybody that's a real pioneer, they're envisioning what you do not see. So as they're doing this, it takes another true person to understand you and see that vision. Right. It's just like when you met me. We didn't see this, but we had to understand what we wanted to do.
Right.
So to be able to bring it to life, man, that's extraordinary.
Yeah,
it's not the average.
It is extraordinary, and I've met husbands and wives who have sold everything for the husband's dreams, and I met a few that's crapped out, and I've met a few that's been very successful. But at a certain point, I think everybody's got to stand in one basket. Everybody's got to stand on everybody's got to stand together and get focused on the thing that's best for the family. And sometimes, even though you don't really understand your wife's jewelry business, that she may be moving toward her greatness. Yeah. And even though you don't like it or even want to support it, even understand it, you got to find a way to give her an opportunity to be her greatest possibility.
True.
Because if you don't, well, ultimately, she's going to start to get bitter, and thinking that you're jealous and thinking that you're not really gonna, you don't really want to support her because you're jealous.
Well,
you're jealous of her success.
I was going to go back to your golf game. Now, to her, you just out there swinging bows, doing some things. But if a woman recognizes how many business deals is done on a golf course,
right?
She might recognize that it is an investment.
Right.
That $40 or $50 we really can't afford. But if he lands that big deal, it pays for all that. Yeah. And that's the sacrifice that people just don't understand, because they're too busy thinking about what they can do with it. See, right. That's when you got to get the non-selfish person.
Yeah, and see, boy, what I love about that, you got to get your spouse or significant other to buy in to your dream. You just can't be reaching for something. They gotta want it too. They gotta feel it too. They gotta understand where you're going. They gotta see the potential in it. And if you just start spending money or spending lots of time out of the house and they don't understand what you're doing or why you're doing it, you're gonna cause some damage.
All day.
You're gonna cause some damage. So a lot of times we do have to sell our dreams and our passions to our spouses, because if we don't, it can get very much misconstrued. There's several things I want to continue to cover when we come back. We're moving into our final segment. And, I'd just like to hear a little bit about what we should be teaching our children. And then maybe have a small conversation on why don't people succeed? Why don't people succeed at their passions?
Because they give up.
Well,
I mean, don't get me wrong. It's hard, bro. It's hard.
But, they may not give up. But when you're at a novice level,
okay, and
you're trying to be successful, it takes a lot. It takes years of intelligence to make things work. Even if you just own a barbecue store, you selling ribs, right? You gotta know, what I'm saying, not to buy too much, and you gotta know not to be open on certain days, or to be open on certain days, be open at certain times, do your print. It takes a lot of expertise, and that really, just because you're passionate about something, don't mean you're expert enough to go and make something out of it. So we want to talk about that.
Oh, don't worry, we're gonna get back to it, because there's a lot of things you can also align yourself with. That's why a lot of people fail at it, because they have their one way of thinking.
Right.
All right, and then it's a good idea.
Right.
But if it marinates with some other great ideas, great things can come, but they don't always align. They get themselves with other people that's negative.
Yeah.
You pick the stupidest days to be open. Ain't nobody buying stuff on that day. So you be like, okay, so I'm changing days, but why are you changing days? Not just because of what they're saying. What's going on in that area? It could be a bad area. You might need to move area. Right. There's other positive ways to look at it. Yeah. But if you got somebody that's shooting negative, that's stupid, this is stupid, you don't always analyze yourself well enough to make a more positive decision on a positive note, to take it somewhere else and make it. You just give up.
Yeah, and the reality is that most people around you can't see your vision.
No.
So you're going to end up being alone, whether you know it or not. Might as well face it right now.
Crap.
That people are going to come against you when you try to be better than the world.
On the sideline, I told you. I said sometime, man, I went out there and I started some stuff and it felt like I was doing what's art.
Right.
Like I'm building a ship in the middle of a desert.
Right.
And I'm building and everybody out there having fun looking at you like you just the biggest dummy.
Yeah.
Ain't no water around here and you steadily building. I have a vision of what's going to be needed and I'm doing it and no one else is seeing it and it's like you're giving up all your time and your efforts for nothing. That don't make no sense.
Right.
But then all of a sudden it blows up where everybody's seeing it. Oh man, yeah, you did that. No, you didn't have me.
Right.
You didn't have me.
You ain't have
You
my
too
back.
busy talking about me.
Yeah.
But it's okay because again, you didn't see it.
Right.
I seen it.
Right.
And if I didn't keep believing in myself, it wouldn't have been seen.
There you go.
It just
There
would
you
have stayed
go.
in my head and like a lot of other dreams died with you and not to reality.
Yeah, it takes fortitude to follow your passion. We're going to go ahead and take our final break. We're going to come back and wrap this show up like we do. And you folks stay tuned. We're going to be right back with more Bar Talk with Jay.
When you look at passion versus money, you know, one of the things we talked about earlier is they can also be something you can strive for
Right.
together. As in, I get a job because I have to have money. And then I learn a trade, and I learn a passionate trade that I get passionate with. So then I go out and I start doing the trade for myself. And because of the fact that I have that passion and that drive and that knowledge to be able to do it, and I do good quality work doing it, money comes.
Right.
Now it takes time. Now one of the things about quality of work, it has to be shown through the world. Now this is where I really like to see social media pick up on compared to what I'm seeing. Today I'm watching people lick ice cream, open up ice cream, lick and put it back on the shelves. Okay. Of course I agree with that, correct? Somebody started a fad that can get them a lot of time because that's a felony, messing with food. So of course I don't like it, but everybody looking for that instant fame. My whole thing is taking constructive realness of your good qualities that you can give somebody and put it out there. Because I watch some people do cook shows now on Facebook. And it got me more interested in some of the things that people are doing. I like to see more creative things like that instead of the one-hit wonder. The one foolish thing I did to get 1 million views. That's just that instant fame. That's not going to get you paid long term. It might get you a sense of worth because everybody watched me 1 million times. But I want to look at value. Because when somebody want to pay you big money, they see value in what you're doing.
Right.
Your work ethics. Because of that alone, I can back you. I can endorse you. You will get more residual coming. But what I'm seeing is everybody want the quick.
Everybody
I
wants
want
it
the quick
quick,
come
yeah.
up. I don't want to work, but I want to get paid.
Yeah.
I just want to hit the lottery and I want to live good.
Yeah.
I don't want to do nothing extra. I don't want to go to work every day. I don't like my boss. I don't like people I work with. This, that, the other. That's all complaints.
Yeah. And you know, as we start to move toward the close of this show, I just want to plant a couple of big seeds for people. If you have a passion for something, never, ever, ever stop. Never stop grinding. Never stop moving toward your destination. Sometimes you got to reset, and you know, sometimes you may have to take some time off from it, but never stop following your passion. Your passion is that, it's that anointing that you have. It's been given to you from the day of birth for you to do that thing, for you to have that gift. And don't leave that on the table.
Right.
Don't leave your gifts and talents on the table because you stop. You've been discouraged by life. You've been discouraged by someone else. Keep on following your passion. And we are examples of that here on Bar Talk with Jay. We have no clue where this show particularly is going, but we know that we want to continue to put out quality, dialogue that people can grow from. And you know, people ask me all the time, man, you taking time off from work, you doing this, that, and the other, you making any money? I'm not making any money yet, but I'm not really concerned about making money, because if the money never comes, I will have given a body of work to the world that can help someone. And so what I'm offering is value to the world, and hopefully me offering this value to the world is going to bring something big back to me. I'm just dependent on the law of reciprocity. I'm dependent on the law of attraction, that the more I give and the more I pour into you, our audience, the more I pour into other people, that when it's time, the universe and God is going to pour into me.
Right.
And I think that's the way it works for most people's lives. If you look at those people who have given themselves to, you know, community service, those people who have given themselves to the homeless, those people who have given themselves, that they somehow always have a mechanism in their life where they're going to retire early and they're going to have a nice retirement, because I think to give is to receive. And so, and hopefully your purpose and your passion has to do with giving. See, the pureness of your interest determines your outcome, right? Mm-hmm. If you start a business to bamboozle people, you're probably going to have some shortcomings and some hard falls, because the universe don't like ugly. God don't like ugly. You setting out the intention to make lots of money on other people, on the backs of other people, and that's just not going. Even though you may be passionate about it, but no good fruit is going to come because your intentions are not pure. We got to have pure intentions for helping other people and helping this world. Your product, your service is going to do something for the world. And you know, I'm just going to say this. The reality is, folks, your life is not your life. Because everything that you do, touch, everything that comes from you serves other people. No matter what it is that you do, it serves other people. And we are not in a vacuum of our own. You just can't like building square box houses. You got to build square box houses that meet the needs of families, that meets the needs of the community, that meets the needs of our neighborhoods. So everything that you do is about somebody else. And if you'll pour yourself into that, you'll find that your work will not go in vain. The money will come. Now, if you find a little hustle on the side that's going to pay you some extra dough, I say go and get it. Go and get that paper, because what you're attempting to do is to gain yourself more freedom to do what you like to do best. Okay? Now, let me take a step back, and then I want to talk about these kids and why people don't succeed. Most people think that our lives are just for happiness. Most people think that, you know, I want to live my life to be happy. And I'm going to tell you that from a world standpoint, from a divine standpoint, that is a selfish way to look at life. Because each person was put here with a responsibility to get a task done. That may be to raise those children. That may be to work hard so you can buy the house for them, to have the nice car. That may be to be able to send your kids to the greatest colleges. That may be so you can fix some steaks every weekend and show them the value of being at home and inviting family over and spending $50, $100 every other weekend to entertain family. Whatever that is, that it's not necessarily just to be happy. It is to serve humanity. And until you get into a servant leadership attitude, a servant mode, I'd imagine nothing that you touch will make any difference to your life or the lives of other people. We gotta find a way to get tuned in to the right way to be successful. Now, the question becomes, why don't people succeed? And Jay said they give up. Why do they give up?
It gets hard.
It gets hard.
It's hard to see that vision come true.
It gets hard.
Dark moments.
Yes.
Sometimes it seems easier to give up
Yes.
than to keep going where I don't know where it's going to land.
Right.
It don't seem like it's working. So guess what? I'm just tired.
I've been spending all this money. I've been spending all this time, this money. It just ain't working. It just ain't, so I just quit.
And I tell them, No. No.
Don't.
It's not just the money. People are seeing you.
Right.
It's a part of you.
Right.
Into that. And then again, it's like building that ship. I'm making an art out of a ship that I didn't even know I can build.
Right.
And I'm building a beautiful ship that somebody else see value in.
Right.
So before I'm even done, they're writing me a check for something I didn't know I was going to get a check for. I thought it was going to be for something else. God makes your mistakes that you call a mistake not a mistake. They're all lessons.
Right.
But you got to make sure you finish them. And a lot of time we give up on them because we don't see the end goal.
Yeah.
It's just not there. You know, I look at my account, and my account ain't where I want it to be, where I want it to be. Now, he blessed you to have you where you're covered.
Right.
You're healthy. You're well to be able to complete it, but you're not happy where you're at because your friend's making more money.
Right.
And you're investing your money into the ship and this thing that you want to build, and you're not seeing your residuals no more, and then your family want more. Because they're getting stingy.
Yes.
They want it because they
Yes.
see you spending it on your venture, and they don't see nobody writing you no check right now because they're waiting to see that finished product.
Yeah. See, there's a lot of pressure on a man with a vision.
Oh,
There is a lot of pressure on a woman with a vision. If you have a vision, you should know that you're going to spend a great deal of time alone. Because having a vision is so rare that you separate yourself. You know, I think in Genesis the Lord said, the Bible says that the God separated the waters from the waters. He separated the waters from the waters. He separated the people who want to do something versus the people who just want to lounge and be lazy and be lax. Those people he separated, they elevated. That's what clouds do. They elevate. Cloud is nothing more than water. He separated the waters from the water, and they moved from just being a floating bottle of water with just drifting to being a cloud, to being somebody who is unique, to being somebody who will fight for something that nobody else will fight for. I just want to encourage you folks to just get passionate about your life. Stop sitting around letting your gifts fade away into nothingness. Stop sitting around saying life is boring, there's nothing to do. Stop sitting around wondering what you shoulda, coulda, woulda done. Get something done in your life that makes a difference for yourself and for your family. You will have regrets. You will look over your shoulder and say, I should have did it this way, I could have did it this way, I would have did this. No matter what those things are, I promise you will be better off if you attempted and attacked and took responsibility and took ownership of the things that you desire in your life. Because nobody's going to desire them for you. The bottom line is, if you don't desire them enough to go and get them, you're going to always be sitting around with a basket full of desires and none of them fulfilled. And let me tell you, going into your latter years, you don't want to have those kind of regrets. Those kind of regrets will create a worried mind and take you on out of here, right? Get all that you can out of life, folks. That's what I'm just trying to say. That get all that you can out of life.
Now, to me, I'm gonna jump in on one of the things you mentioned about happiness. And again, happiness can be somewhat selfish, but one of the things I can tell you is you can also incorporate it.
Okay.
Because again, like I was building that ship, I don't have to make that just all work. I can make it enjoyable. I can bring other people into it. I can let other people see my vision. I can make it where I'm toasted and I'm having people come over and I'm drinking while I'm building. I don't have to make it just selfishly just mine and make it a mission where I alienate myself from everybody else. And now I'm not happy.
Right.
I'm building it, I'm miserable, but I know I have a mission, I want to complete it, but don't nobody understand me, and then you become a person that no one likes.
Right.
And I really feel like you're driven, but you're driving everybody else away.
Yeah,
And
that
I
happens
really,
a lot.
Right, and I like to say, no, you can go back into your self-happiness as well.
Yeah.
Because if somebody know your true passion in you, along with you do, they can ride with you, they don't ride with you. But it's either or, but the happiness still is you.
Right.
Because I know what I need to do. And some people will line be like, you know something, I see what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Or, I just support you because you're a good dude.
Yeah, and believe it or not, for all you folks who really want to go get something done, you have to leave your happiness on the table for a while until you get the work done.
You do.
You have to leave your happiness on the table. There's a such thing as high tide and low tide, and you're never going to change it. You're always going to be facing problems, concerns, issues, fixing stuff. You didn't get enough out of this week's efforts. You're going to have to give up happiness in order to achieve something. And those people who achieve the most oftentimes give up all of their happiness. There's something to be said for people who get rid of happiness and just want to focus on the thing that they want to focus on, right? It means a lot to the world for you to forget happiness, because you can do something for the world if you stop thinking more. If you stop thinking a little bit about yourself, you can make something happen.
And I agree with that.
Yeah. What do you teach your children about this subject, Jay?
One of the things I tell them is, man, you know, through a lot of my sacrifices, man, I had a lawn care business. And I started with the house cleaning, and one of the things that came out of that, I dwindled it down to JJ's Lawn Care. And I said that JJ was for Jerry and John, my boys. So this business, truck, equipment, $50,000. Hey, kids, I'm tired. I got a lot of stuff going on. I'm going to do the Jay and Shay show. So I want y'all to take over this business. I don't want to continue doing this because it's just a legacy for you guys. So y'all go ahead and do this. You know what my kids told me?
What?
My kids told me they don't want it.
They said they don't want it.
They said that too much hard work. That ain't being out there in that sun, cutting grass, all that. That's what you like to do. We don't like to do that. And I said, but I'm just saying, you know, the truck, all this, I mean, I'm going to just take a piece of it, but it's all my customers. Y'all go do it. I have so much other things I want to get done. Right. That was just one of mine, but I'm more like leaving a legacy for y'all. That's just a trade. Yeah. Y'all can do it.
And
nah, Daddy.
And I'm gonna tell you, folks, this is a kind of a spare the rod type of conversation, because the rod isn't always a belt and a switch and a whooping, right? Mm-hmm. Sometimes the rod is get your butt out of bed and go get this task done that I said get done. Because I'm going to teach you that you need to get up early and go to work. I'm going to teach you early in life that you need to create balance. The daughter of the young lady I live with, you know, my lady's daughter, she's got a job, right? Mm-hmm. So she want to go to work, and she's enjoying the money right out of the box. So she's going to work 7 days a week. Mm. And then we had to start saying, are you sure you want to go to work on Sunday? Are you sure you want to take your extra time? You might need to think about resting. And then on the other hand, you might need to think about spending a little time with us. Right? So you got to start teaching those lessons early in life, balancing the equation between, their money and their passion. It's just a conversation that we don't have enough with young folk. And ultimately, they're not really going to pay attention to what you say. They're going to pay attention to what you do. And if you always gone and you say, well, I'm trying to make some extra money, that's probably the lesson that you're teaching your children, and that's exactly what they're going to do when they come up and they have a family. They're going to leave their family thinking that money is going to be their salvation, their happiness, or solving all their problems, and it's not. We have to teach balance. We have to teach work ethic. We have to teach the aggression to make life happen. And without doing that, neither money nor passion is ever going to mean anything in their lives. They're just going to be drifters and meandering through life because you didn't teach them the good stuff, the hard stuff, the most important stuff to an effective life on earth.
Well, one of the things I can tell you, the lesson that was taught on this one for me, is when they said that, it hit hard, don't get me wrong, because I work hard to do all of my businesses, and I invested in myself to start my business. I didn't go to no banks. I told you I worked at the club until I got $15,000 up, and I invested in myself. So by me doing that, and then me having all this money invested in this equipment, and they didn't want to do it, I didn't get fouled with them because I understand they got their own path.
Right. And
you can't always force somebody into something other than what they want. So I took that equipment and I sold it. And I invested into the Jay and Shay show. Okay. And I did that for 2.5 years, and then I started Bar Talk with Jay.
Right.
So again, you just have to learn that you can't force nothing, but you can utilize that money and put it other places. Because I had other dreams. I had other things that I wanted to do. I just invested back in me again.
Right.
I took that and I reinvested, and that's what I do with most of my businesses.
Yeah.
You gotta believe in yourself and understand it ain't gonna happen how you want it to happen.
Yeah.
But it's a formula. Every time you start something, you gotta have your equations
Yeah.
Get your facts down. You're not gonna have everything perfect, and then align yourself.
Yeah, I think that's a great point to make as we close out this show. Is whether you focus on the money or whether you focus on passion, you gotta believe in yourself. Nobody else is gonna believe in you more than you believe in you. You may have lots of followers and lots of people, but everybody's pretty much gonna be sitting on the sideline while you struggle to your finish line. And keep that in mind, because again, the struggle is
Real.
It's real and it's lonely. It's real and it's lonely. So we hope you folks have enjoyed this show. I most certainly have, because we just don't have these kind of conversations enough. I think every single month we need a talk about following our passion, because we oftentimes keep leaving ourselves, leaving our interests, our greatest interests, our most passionate interests on the table for other things in life. And it could be the very thing to set you free, not only financially, but set your heart free, so that you feel like at the end of your life, I did what I was supposed to do. I did what God brought me here to do. I made the best cakes, I did the best hairdos, I was the best mechanic, I was the best DJ, I was the best engineer. Whatever those things are, you have a personal responsibility to focus on being the very best that thing you can be, so you have no regrets in life. Because regrets, I would imagine regrets hurt eternally. Even after you're gone, you probably are still hurting behind your regrets.
And that's why one of the things I did recently when I went to Hawaii with my mom, I could have waited till more money came in before I could feel like, hey. But she said one thing to me. She said, when you make your first $1 million, I want this big feast. So she spoke words of a number that I never spoke.
Right.
I know with my businesses and the things that I'm capable of doing, but she spoke it.
Right.
So that person, I'm going to reward before it ever happens. Why wait? She's in health, right? Good health. That I can't wait to see a point where she can't do. And then I'll be like, okay, I got all this money, and now we can go do it, and she can't do it. She can't enjoy it.
Right.
Because I selfishly waited.
Right.
But yet I did other trips. I took other people. They don't measure up to a person that supported me since day one.
Right.
Makes no sense to me. That's not how I was raised.
You know what, Jay? I have this check in my wallet.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't need nobody there to remind me where I'm going.
Okay.
This check is made out to me for $49 million.
All right.
And I'll cash it soon and very soon.
All right.
But I don't need nobody's help. I won't say I won't need help. I won't need support. But the point is that I'm believing in myself.
There you go. You wrote
And most people that I show this to, they can't see it. They can't feel it. They can't understand it. They can't internalize what it would be like to have $49 million. What life would be like, and I know exactly what my life would be like if I had $49 billion, because I've already written a floor plan for what I want to achieve in my life. So it's all about your vision, folks. It's important to have a vision. Believe it or not, this world is spiritual, and your vision is your real world, but it's only in spirit until you begin speaking it and working toward it, and then it will become into physical form and real measure here in this world. Have a vision. Focus on your plan. Don't worry about what the world thinks. Stay around positive people. Stay around people who can help you achieve your goal, and believe in yourself. I don't know what else we can say behind
Only
this.
thing we can say is right at for 51, and me and Booby take $1 million apiece. You can keep your 49.
Listen, if I got 49, you still can get $1 million, right? One thing I'm not going to do with this 49 million is be selfish. I have already planned about a third of it to go to family members and friends and people who I love in the world. It's not even my money. So I'm working for other people's salvation and other people's livelihoods.
Now that's a bigger vision.
That's a bigger vision.
And that's what I want people to understand. Not just the number. He has a plan on how he's going to get it, achieve it, and what he's going to do with it. All I got to ask you at this round table, what are you doing?
What are you doing with your life? And what are you doing with your purpose and your passion? What are you doing with that business opportunity in the palm of your hands that you're just sitting on for year after year after year, making excuses and reasons and It's time to get busy. Hold yourself to a greater level of accountability. If you don't know how, pray on it, and the Lord will take you to where you need to be. And with that one,
We out.
I think we out.
Ain't no last calls here.
Bar Talk with Jay.